It was one of those mornings that felt staged, too quiet to trust. Sunlight painted the dashboard gold as Lena drove through the city, her thoughts louder than traffic. On the seat beside her sat Evan's forgotten smartwatch and a packed lunch she'd made before sunrise. A small gesture, she thought, something to remind him that love didn't need to shout. Lately, though, it felt like she was loving a ghost, someone always busy, always training someone new. She told herself it was fine, until she walked into his world. The glass doors of Nexus Dynamics slid open with a hush. The lobby gleamed, chrome, coffee, and ambition. The receptionist, all lipstick and rehearsed smiles, greeted her warmly. "He's in the lounge," she said. "End of the hall." Lena's heels echoed like a countdown. Each step, a memory. Each breath, a question she didn't know she'd have to ask. And then she saw him. Evan, laughing, relaxed, leaning just. Her voice reached Lena first. Light, teasing. "Oh, so you're Lena, the ex he still hangs out with?" Lena froze. The room went still. Evan's smile collapsed like paper in rain. "What?" Lena said quietly. The words barely fit through her throat. The woman, young, confident, perfume too expensive to ignore, blinked in confusion. I'm sorry. I thought you two were—" Evan cut her off, stammering. "Mara, that's not— it's a misunderstanding." But Lena wasn't listening anymore. She was watching him. The panic in his eyes told her everything. She smiled, sharp, calm. "Right," she said, setting the smartwatch on the counter. "Misunderstanding." Her voice was steady, but inside, something was cracking. Then she turned and left. The elevator doors closed behind her like punctuation. Her reflection stared back. Calm on the surface, chaos underneath. Outside, the city carried on. Horns, chatter, life. But to Lena, everything sounded like that one sentence, the ex who still hangs out with him. By the time she got home, the silence was heavy. She placed the untouched lunch on the counter and stared at it. The kind of meal you make for someone who's already eaten somewhere else. She didn't cry. Not yet. Shock isn't sadness. It's the body buffering before pain hits. That night, she sat across from Evan at dinner. He chewed, spoke about deadlines, as if betrayal were just another item on the to-do list. Finally, she said, "So, you didn't tell your coworkers I was your ex?" He looked up, smiling that careful corporate smile. "Of course not. People twist things, Lena. You know how gossip spreads." "Tense, that's what you said, right?" she asked. He blinked. "What?" "That we're going through a tense phase." Her tone was even, her stare surgical. He laughed, short, defensive. "Don't start. You always make things dramatic." The air split in half. She set her fork down. "Maybe if you told me the truth, I wouldn't have to make anything." He didn't respond, just kept cutting his food, like silence could fix things. Lena got up. "You built a version of us that fits your image," she said quietly. "But I'm not living in it anymore." She walked away, leaving his lies to grow cold on the table. That night, she couldn't sleep. The ceiling felt too close, the bed too big. Every memory replayed itself. His words, his laugh, the look on that woman's face. By morning, the sadness had turned into something colder. Focus. While the kettle boiled, she opened her laptop. Emails, shared calendars, meeting invites. Each line became proof, a map of deceit drawn in timestamps. And there it was, the training sessions, the late nights, all aligning too perfectly. He hadn't been busy with work. He'd been busy rewriting their story. But he'd made one mistake. He'd forgotten who she was before. The next corporate gala was that weekend. He thought she wouldn't show. He thought wrong. Lena dressed carefully, not in rage, but in elegance sharpened into armor. A silver gown, clean lines, quiet power. When she looked in the mirror, she saw calm, the kind that made people nervous. At the venue, conversations shimmered with fake laughter and champagne. Eyes followed her as she entered, unfamiliar, intrigued, whispering. And then she spotted her. Mara, the woman from the office. She froze mid-laugh when she saw Lena. "Oh, you came?" Mara asked awkwardly. Lena smiled, sipping her drink. "Why wouldn't I? My husband works here. The word husband landed like glass breaking. Then Lena saw Evan, across the room, laughing with colleagues, unaware, until their eyes met. The smile died on his face instantly. She walked over slowly, every step deliberate. He met her halfway, panic stitched behind his charm. Lena, what are you doing here? I came to celebrate, she said softly. Your reputation, your stories. He swallowed hard. Let's not do this here. She tilted her head. But you did it here, didn't you? He froze. Then the host called his name. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our senior strategist, Evan Cole. Applause. Cameras. Lights. He stepped up, forced smile trembling, and then Lena joined him on stage. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Evan whispered sharply, "Get off the stage." She took the mic instead. "Good evening," she began, voice smooth, confident. "I'm Lena Cole, Evan's current wife." A wave of murmurs. She smiled faintly. "I just wanted to clarify something small. Apparently, I've been promoted to ex-wife without signing any papers. News to me." The room fell silent. Somewhere in the crowd, someone coughed. Evan's face turned pale. He reached for the mic, muttering, "You're embarrassing yourself." Lena's voice softened. "No, Evan, I'm M." The audience gasped, half in shock, half in awe. She handed him the mic, whispered near his ear, "Next time you lie, make sure it's not to a woman who helped build your success." Then she walked off stage, applause following like the sound of freedom. The next morning, the house felt like an echo. He stormed in hours later, fury in his footsteps. "Do you even realize what you've done?" he shouted. She didn't look up from her coffee. "Yeah, I told the truth. You humiliated me." She took another sip. "No, you did that when you lied." His voice cracked. "You've ruined my life." She finally looked at him. Calm, clear, untouchable. "No, Evan, I just stopped letting you ruin mine." Then she slid an envelope across the table. "What's this?" he snapped. "Freedom," she said. "Yours and mine." Inside, divorce papers. He stared at them, disbelief washing over his face. "You're really leaving?" Lena smiled faintly. "You already did. I'm just Cat." He sank into a chair, muttering something about mistakes and second chances. But she'd already walked to the door. "Lena, please," he called. She paused, turning slightly. "You had every chance to tell the truth. You chose silence." Her tone softened, just once. "Now I'm choosing peace." And she left. Outside, the morning was golden again. But this time, it felt real. Her suitcase rolled softly across the driveway. She didn't look back. The house wasn't home anymore. It was evidence. At the car, she slipped off her ring. It sparkled on once in the sunlight, then rested gently on the hood. "Goodbye," she whispered, not to him, but to the version of herself who kept forgiving. Then she drove away. Months passed. The city didn't look the same, or maybe she didn't. Lena spent her mornings in a small cafe downtown. Good coffee, bad Wi-Fi, honest laughter. She was building something new. Her own business, her own rhythm, her own name. People here knew her simply as Lena. Not Mrs. Cole, not someone's ex, just Lena. One afternoon, she heard a familiar voice. "Mara?" The young woman turned, startled, then smiled nervously. "Lena, I'm sorry for..." Lena raised a hand gently. "It's fine. You didn't lie to me, he did." Mara nodded, eyes soft. "He left the company, you know." Lena smiled faintly. "Then we both got promoted." They laughed, real laughter, light and freeing. As Lena stepped outside, the wind carried a hint of spring. She caught her reflection in a window. The same woman, but rebuilt. Some stories end in revenge. Hers didn't need it. Lena didn't win by exposing him. She won by walking away, stronger, quieter, freer. And that, she realized, was the best ending of all. My steps were steady, my heart light. He lost control. I found freedom. That's the difference between endings and beginnings.